Hello, game-driven players. Today we are going to review a brand new game in 2026 called Black Hole. Black Hole is a classic board game. I've invited my partner here, Game Driven, to a game. So we're going to go look at that. And let's start by looking at the board. The board is two paths numbered here at the beginning and end, 1, 1, and 2, 2. And the object of the game is to get your ships, which are currently caught in a black hole, out along these paths down to the Earth, which is at the bottom of the screen here. So you'll do this by rolling dice and then launching these ships at the beginning of each path and then moving them through. You actually have to complete 2 ships on each path, so for a total of 4. One of the little controls we have here is this black hole widget, and if you click on it, you'll see that you can flip between your opponent's ships and your ships. You also can see the status of ships down here, and we'll see what that looks like here as I move. So I'm going to roll the dice, and you get a number 1 through 6, or you get a star, this kind of explosion, which is actually a launch die, or you get a shield die. So we're going to see what the shield die looks like in a minute. One thing to note is that along the path you'll see these wormholes, these little black dots. Those you want to avoid, because if you land in one of those, it automatically sends you back to the black hole. So you want to manipulate your moves so that you can avoid those. Those wormholes are actually placed randomly at the beginning of every game. So each board and each game you play is going to have a different set of wormholes. There's actually 1, 2, 3, 4 random wormholes on each path. There's also a roll again square, which is random as well. 1 roll again square on each of these 2 paths. And so those will be different in each game. So I have a choice here. I basically click the square I want to launch to. So it doesn't really matter. These ships aren't assigned to any particular path. However, only 2 can actually ever be on a path or complete it through a path. So once you have done 2 on a path, your other ships are only eligible to come out on the opposite path. So I'm going to launch this ship, so that uses up the star die, and then I'm going to move 5, which is my only option. You always move the full amount of the die, so that's why you have to either flip the die or do something different in order to try to dodge these wormholes. So there, I've moved 5, and now you'll see the indicator shows that I have started and launched this ship. So any partially filled rocket ship means I'm on that path. When I complete the path, it'll be fully colored. And when I'm still in a launch position, it's grayed out. It's a pretty clear way to track my progress. I'm going to submit that move, and then I will pull up the game. I have actually 2 games going with this opponent, so I'm just going to go to this game. And we're always blue, so you'll see that my opponent's ship is painted in red, and then I can see the status of that ship and also the last move, which is highlighted in green. So I'll roll a dice. I happen to get the same numbers. I'm going to go on the other path and submit that. And so we will go back to the shorter game here. Okay, so here's my first shield. So this is a little bubble. So if you land on your opponent's piece, that also captures them and sends them back to start, just like in Backgammon or Sorry or Parcheesi, any of these games that you've played, Trouble, in the past, maybe a while ago. That's how this board game works. So the shield actually prevents another ship from capturing you. So if I click on this ship when that bubble is lit, then it's going to turn me into a protected ship. And this little arrow tool here in the control panel, that flips my dice so they can be played in an opposite order. So you can't put a bubble on one of your ships in here, and you can't put a bubble on a ship that's in the launch position. The reason is because you're preventing your opponent from landing on you, and you can't do that when you're in the launch pad because they should always be able to get out. So I'm going to apply the bubble to that ship, as you see here, and then I'll use the second die to launch another ship. So I'm going to launch it on the same path here, and I'll submit that. So you see 2 ships now out on path 1. And to get to this one, I'm not sure that's the same. Here's the same game. And so let's roll our dice. And you'll see I have a star. So now I can launch my ship and be nice and start here, or I can launch the ship on top of my opponent, which will send that ship right back to the black hole. So I'm going to play ruthlessly here, and I'm going to send her back and then move 2 so that same thing doesn't happen to me right away, and then submit that move, and so forth. So the game kind of progresses with both players rolling and trying to get their pieces. Now there are intersections like this, and the way you can tell which path this ship is on is the directions of the rocket. So even though he's on a shared square, he's still going in the left direction, not down. So that's how you know he's moving that way. There's really not much else to the game. You just have to get to the bottom of this. It's if you like backgammon or you like those sort of board and path related games, this is very popular for folks who like those. There's also a variation of this game, which I'll show you by launching a new game. Actually, I may already have one of these. Yeah, Trips it's called. So in Trips, I'm playing Krista here. There is a third path. You can contrast that with this. There's a third path that is woven into the board. So same rules apply, except you'll start with 6 ships, and you have to do 2 per path, as you can see from the scorecard here. And the third path is a very short path, so there's no additional roll again, and there's only 1 black hole, or only 1 wormhole, I should say, that's added. But this is for a little bit longer game, maybe a little bit more challenging game, a little more options. One piece of advice I'll give you is try not to get yourself down to just having 1 ship, because if you have only 1 ship and you roll dice that are unfavorable, like you see here, this coincidentally came up with 3 black holes in a row. Let's say you were here and that was your only ship. You have to have a very specific set of numbers to try to avoid those black holes. And if you don't get it, you're defeated. So having 2 options just allows you to spread your dice around and try to avoid, the holes here. So that's it. Pretty short and sweet. I hope you like this new game. It has become quickly one of our most popular games, and I think it's pretty easy to intuitively pick it up, but it also has plenty of strategy and challenge to it. See you on Game Driven. Enjoy it.